Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Inshallah, the recitation will be from Surah Al-Kahf, Surah number 18, verse number 83, if anybody wants to follow, inshallah. 83. Al-Kahf, the cave, Surah number 18, verse number 83, Surah 18 والآية 83. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ويسألونك عن ذي القرنين قل سأتلو عليكم منه ذكرا. إنا مكنا له في الأرض وآتيناه من كل شيء سببا فأتبع سببا حتى إذا بلغ مغرب الشمس وجدها تغرب في عين حامئة ووجد عندها قوما قلنا يا ذا القرنين إما أن تعذب وإما أن تتخذ فيهم حسنا. قال أما من ظلم فسوف نعذبه ثم يرد إلى ربه فيعذبه عذابا نكرا. وأما من آمن وعمل صالحا فله جزاء الحسنى وسنقول له من أمرنا يسرا. ثم أتبع سببا حتى إذا بلغ مطلع الشمس وجدها تطلع على قوم لم نجعل لهم من دونها سترا. كذلك وقد أحطنا بما لديه خبرا. ثم أتبع سببا حتى إذا بلغ بين السدين وجد من دونهما قوما
قوما لا يكادون يفقهون قولا قالوا يا ذا القرنين إن يأجوج ومأجوج مفسدون في الأرض فهل نجعل لك خرجا قالوا يا ذا القرنين إن يأجوج ومأجوج مفسدون في الأرض فهل نجعل لك خرجا على أن تجعل بيننا وبينهم سدا قال ما مكني فيه ربي خير فأعينوني بقوة أجعل بينكم وبينهم ردما آتوني زبر الحديد حتى إذا ساوى بين الصدفين قال انفخوا حتى إذا جعله نارا قال آتوني أفرغ عليه قطرا فما استطاعوا أن يظهروه وما استطاعوا له نقبا قال هذا رحمة من ربي فإذا جاء وعد ربي جعله دكا وكان وعد ربي حقا صدق الله العظيم. الله يبارك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
لا.
الحمد لله رب العالمين، نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونصلي ونسلم على خيرته من خلقه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وكل من اهتدى بهديه واستنى بسنته وقتفى أثره. نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمد رسول الله. أوصيكم ونفسي عباد الله بتقوى الله، فاللهم اجعلنا من المتقين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. ثم أما بعد. After praising Allah Azza wa Jalla and sending the best of peace and blessings to the soul of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, we start. Allow me, my brothers and sisters, to share with you one of the beautiful stories of Qasas al-Quran, the stories of the Quran. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala said in the Quran, لَقَدْ كَانَ فِي قَصَصِهِمْ عِبْرَةٌ. Indeed, in their stories, there is a lesson. There are lessons to learn. When Allah mentions a story in the Quran, it's for us to learn. It's for us to know who we are, what life is like, what lessons that we learn from that history and legacy of good or bad people, so we follow the good and we avoid the bad. This is the story of Thul-Qarnain, the man of the two horns, the great king that Allah Azza wa Jalla mentioned his story towards the end of Surah Al-Kahf, the cave, Surah number 18. And his story is mentioned from verse 83 to 98. Dhul-Qarnain is one of the four kings, according to the scholars, who ruled over the entire earth at one point or the other. Two of them were righteous, good, and the other two were not. And this is the story of the battle between haqq and batil, truth and falsehood. People, followers of good, followers of bad, all through the time. And that's one of the purposes why Allah created life. So these interactions will happen, and at the end, your decision to follow which group will define your destiny at the end. Two of these were good. Two of these kings who ruled over the entire earth were good. Sulaiman alayhi salam, the son of Dawood, great king and great prophet, both of them. This is the first of them. The second one is Dhul-Qarnain, the man of the two horns. His story mentioned in Surah Al-Kahf. The two bad people were An-Numrud, the one that his story is mentioned with Sayyidina Ibrahim, the little argument that went on between them. When Ibrahim said, my Lord is the one to give life and take life. He said, I can give life and take life. Bring me two people. This should live, this should die. He thought by this he can give life and take life. Sayyidina Ibrahim didn't want to argue for the sake of argument. Sometimes we need to quit a lot of arguments. We need to just take a step back for the sake of, you don't want to keep going down this hill of arguing just for arguing. Sayyidina Ibrahim gave him the next argument. My Lord is the one that brings sun from the east in the morning. My Lord, Allah, brings sun from the east. Can you bring it from the west? فَبُهِتَ الَّذِي كَفَرْ. And he was totally the one who disbelieved. was defeated. So An-Numrud was one of them, and Bukht Nasr is the other king. We're here to just focus on the story of Dhul-Qarnain and what do we learn from that. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنْ ذِي الْقَرْنَيْنِ. They will ask you, O Muhammad, about that Dhul-Qarnain, man of the two horns. Qarn is horn, Qarnaini, two horns. What does this exactly mean? We're going to get to that in a second. Tell them, the people of Quraysh came to Muhammad ﷺ asking him the question, trying to, test him. They were pagans themselves, and they could not. They were trying to look for anything to oppose that new mission that gains a lot of followers every day. They had to go to some of the people of the book who got some knowledge, who can give them some questions to defy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. That was one of them. When they went to ask, they told them, go ask him these questions. One of them was a king in the previous times who ruled over the entire earth. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala later on, he forgot to tell them, Insha'Allah, I will tell you. He told them, I'm going to tell you tomorrow. The wahi came from Allah, not tomorrow, not the next day, not a week later, 2 weeks later. And it was so hard for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, it was a lesson for him. That the knowledge is not from you, it's from Allah. And that lesson comes all through the surah. Humbling yourself, regardless of whatever power and authority and knowledge and money you might have. We read it all through the surah, that you really need to humble yourself to Allah so you flourish, you become successful. And we read it in this surah. Sayyidina Dhul-Qarnain was a king. It's an argument amongst the scholars whether he was a prophet or just a king. Some of the Sahaba, they believe he was a prophet. They read it between the lines from the surah when Allah told him, قُلْنَا يَا ذَا الْقَرْنَيْنِ. We said, oh Dhul-Qarnain, do this and that. They said Allah spoke to him. This is wahi. This is revelation. It's only for prophets, and he should be a prophet. In any case, it's not clear, and Allah did not decide to tell us whether he was a prophet or not. This is not the point. The point is in his action. What did he do? إِنَّا مَكَّنَّا لَهُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Allah said, we have makkanna, tamkeen. I would like to give you this little assignment. Search for the word makkana in Arabic, tamkeen in Arabic. In the Quran, you will always find it connected to Allah, which is establishing. We provided him the establishment. We established him on earth. Something around this meaning. We gave him power. Always. Tamkeen, الَّذِينَ إِن مَكَّنَّاهُمْ. Those, when we established them on earth, Allah said in a different surah, they will do such and such. Here Allah said, we provided him. We established him on earth. This is one of our points of our faith. Articles of our faith, or one part of our faith, is we believe power belongs to Allah. He gives it to whomever He wills and takes it from whomever He wills. تُؤْتِ mulk or kingdom, you give it to Allah. This is the ayah in the Quran. You give it to whomever you will, and you take it from whomever you will. This is a test. Allah gives us health to test us, money to test, children, position, authority. Everything we have is we are being established. We are being put into that kind of power by Allah to see what we're going to do with that knowledge, ilm, power, money, authority, whatever it is. مَكَّنَّا لَهُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Allah said, we have established him on earth, provided him with all means on earth. وَآتَيْنَاهُ مِن كُلِّ شَيْءٍ سَبَبًا. And we open a way for everything for him. سبب. السبب هو الطريق الذي يوصل إلى غيره. الشيء الموصل إلى غيرها. If something leads to something else, this is called sabab, cause, means. So Allah said, we have given him of all means. فَأَتْبَعَ سَبَبًا. That's Allah Azza wa Jalla facilitated things for him, opens ways for him, and then his job or his duty was فَأَتْبَعَ. He followed these. This is another lesson for us, Ahbab al-Kiram. Great lesson for us. Everything is open in front of you. This is something we don't want to get caught into these arguments, or we are forced to go one way. Our destiny is being defined for us or not. This is from shaitan. We don't want to waste time. The fact is, if you want to go out now, leave the house of Allah, go do anything right now, you can do it. You can. There's no angel who will stop you at the door. If you want this to come to the masjid, you will do it. You have the free power, the free will. So Allah said, we made everything available for him, and him, what did he do? فَأَتْبَعَ. He followed. Sababa. He followed these means. This is the reason of why many nations, individuals and nations might not flourish and advance and progress at all levels, even though they might have means, right? You probably know what I'm talking about. Great big countries having natural resources, but not managing them the right way, not following the causes, the right causes to do. You will never get. You have the cause and the result. You have to follow the cause to get to the result. Allah did not create plants and put them in piles out in the street and you go get them. No. You have the seed, you put it in the earth in the right time, give it water, give it care, follow the causes. At the end, you can reap, you can get the crops. These are the causes, and he followed the causes. He built, he learned, he followed all the causes. And now Allah will talk about 3 trips. This was a discoverer. This was an explorer, a great king who had the power. And now he's planning 3 different trips. One to the far west, one to the far east, and another trip somewhere. Scholars say it was to the middle of Asia nowadays. He was trying to discover for what? Well, Allah didn't say it's for fun, but it could be for fun too. But he had the ultimate cause out there, is he had the direction, because his direction from the beginning, if you review the story, the word Rabbi, my Lord, is repeated so many times in the tongue of Thul-Qarnain. ما مكنني فيه ربي خير. Rabbi, Rabbi. Repeating this word a lot gives you an idea of who this man is. And that's one thing we probably are missing nowadays in terms of civilizations. We have beautiful civilization all through the history, including the civilizations that we have right now, the establishment that we have right now. We learn from the story of Thul-Qarnain is that you need both. You need the power and follow all the causes, and you need spirituality. Materialism and follow all the causes and have all the natural resources, and and you need that spirituality, rawhaniyat, being connected to Allah, or else we see nations who had that power. How did they manage it? How did they use it? They go to other nations and they colonize them. They take over them. Read the history. That is not the direction or the way Allah Azza wa Jalla wants us. So, first trip can be titled as a trip. He was on a mission of establishing justice. He went all the way to where he can reach, where the sun sets, the farthest west that he could reach. And then he found some people. He said, those who are doing good, we will, فَلَهُ جَزَاءً الْحُسْنَى, the reward, we will provide them more, we will give them the best of reward. Basically, we will support them. وَأَمَّا مَنْ ظَلَمَ, but those who are doing wrong, I have the power to stop them, I will stop them and I punish them. And then, more important is that when they return to the Lord, He will punish them as well. So he was a man on a mission. He went to establish justice. Justice based on the actions. أَمَّا مَنْ آمَنَ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا, those who believe and do good, support them, give them. Those who commit dhulm, those who undermine that journey of adl, of justice, I will make sure to stop them. This is another lesson for us. Nations, successful nations, should be established on justice. Justice. We have those establishment, even the word establishment right now, where it's only either one of 2 parties that you have to choose from. What about the rest? Why do we have only 2 parts? Why don't we work to allow, if somebody wants to come from here and go to there, as it happens in the economy, for example, which is amazing, right? We read the stories of Jeff Bezos, for example, and other successful people, companies like Amazon and Apple and what have you, right? This is very inspiring. People who started from zero. I'm not sure if you can see this. This is the first office of Jeff Bezos and Amazon. Very creepy office. From there, back in 1999, he built a company whose net worth is 1.7 trillion. Microsoft now is 1.6 trillion. And the list goes on. So we can have this, we can reach this only if we have something like what Dhul-Qarnain had, the aspiration. Well, first of all, the direction. He wanted to do something good. He wanted to travel and discover and explore and see. If there is good, I'll support it. If there is bad, I will stop against it. That was the first trip. Second trip, he went to the Far East. The Far East, he found people who did not have a cover against sun. What does this exactly mean? Quran many times does not give us the deep details, leaves it for us. Nowadays, an imam, friend of mine, where I know him, actually acquaintance of mine, he's an imam in I think it's in Denmark, the Northern Europe. And he was once sending a video, Imam Walid, about this. After praying Taraweeh in Ramadan, he went outside and he was taking a selfie, a video of how the sun, midnight sun they call it. It does not set. It just goes around the dome of the sky, goes, or if it sets, it just go partially below the horizon and come back again. And he said, I think that could be the place, or one of the places that Dhul-Qarnain reached to, where Allah said in the Quran, it's a group of people that sun, they have no cover against sun. In any case, that's one, could be one understanding. He went to that place that looks like flat, people does not have a cover from the sun, people who lack all means, does not have any means, he supported them. They could not even understand each other. لا يكادون يفقهون قولا. Then he moved to the third trip, and he found people who got enemies, and those enemies cause a lot of corruption, that they attack them once and again, take captives from them. And then we have so many stories and so many not very authentic stories there, that they used to eat them up. They used, in any way, mufsiduna fil ard, as Allah said, they make corruption in earth. Allah does not want corruption. Any corruption on earth is against the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he decided, they sought help from him. Those groups reached out to Dhul-Qarnain. He was famous. It looks like he was known to everybody by then. قالوا يا ذا القرنين هل نجعل لك خرج. They are begging him, shall we pay you whatever you like? We can pay you kharja, we can pay you money, we can pay you whatever you like, to على أن تجعل بيننا وبينهم سدا, so as to, for you to build a wall, a kind of a dam or wall between us and them. They make a lot of corruption. What we read from this is those people, well, they had money, right? They had resources, because they can pay him whatever he wants. And they know what needed to be done. They said, we need to pay you, so you build that. So they had a lot of things, but they lacked the will. They lacked the initiative. Go ahead and do it. You have the money, you have the manpower, because he will help them. He will tell them, we need to work as a team. You got to help me so I can help you. So they got the money or resources, they got the people, and they know what needed to be done, but there was no will, there was no irada, there was no determination to go this direction. He said, not interested. ما مكنني فيه ربي خير. What my Lord has given me is good for me. I am satisfied with that. I don't want your money, but what you need to do, أعينوني بقوة أجعل بينكم وبينهم ردما. You got to help me with power. Put your manpower in there. Let's make it as a national project. We all work on it. I'm going to help you with. He was going to discover and explore with all of his tools and engineers and technology and everything. He said, I got everything, but you got to help me. And he even planned for them, Atuni Zubar, go ahead and collect all the iron in your kingdom or all around. And he put it all together, and he kindled the fire in there, and then he brought the copper. Quran mentioned the details. They are bringing, and he is supervising, he's working with them until he built the wall for them. And then he made, subhanAllah, dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not, the statement he put afterwards is not like, I'm very proud of what I have done, look at what we done. No, he said, قال هذا رحمة من ربي. This is all because of the mercy of my Lord. Because of the mercy of Allah, that He gave me power. He made me in a position to help you. And now we're all made it together. He humbled himself for Allah. فإذا جاء وعد ربي, but when the promise of my Lord comes, جعله دكاء, it will be destroyed. It will come one day. It will come to an end when my Lord permits it. We know that at the end of the time, one of the signs, the major signs of the Day of Judgment, is when this wall disappears or falls, and Ya'juj wa Ma'juj, Gog and Magog, those tribes who caused a lot of corruption, they will come from behind it and they will cause more corruption in a series of signs that will lead to the end of time, the Day of Judgment in here. So many lessons are there in front of us in the Quran. Tawakkul ala Allah, putting trust, having trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the plan of Allah and everything. And subhanAllah, if you look at the sequence, right before this story was the story of Al-Khadr. Again, a righteous man who Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, had to go to, again, because he thought he is the most knowledgeable person on earth, to the best of his knowledge. Then Allah told him, no, there's another person you need to go and learn from. Then he learned from him, and the story was all about qadr. What you know, what appears to you, might not be the ultimate truth. You see, what you see as your judgment is not the ultimate judgment, is not the ultimate truth. That is the message. Because Sayyidina Musa was making a hole, Al-Khadr, the righteous person, was making a hole in the ship, right? And Musa alayhi salam is telling him, how could you do that? They got you on board for free. Now you're punishing them. What looks to Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam is he is doing wrong. But in reality, he was saving them. There was a tyrant, a king, who would take every good, nice looking boat, and he wanted to make some damage in it to save it. Now, some believers might think, okay, everything is in the hand of Allah. What should I do? There is a plan. Whatever I see, my judgment could be, it might not be the truth. Then Allah followed that with the story of a man who had the tawakkul ala Allah, the trust in Allah. Every sentence he's saying, my Lord, this is because of my Lord. I got this power because of my Lord. But he atba'a sababa. And this verse is repeated 3 times after each trip. After he was about to take the trip, Allah said, we have given him all the ways and all the causes and all the means, and he followed these means. He followed, so he had to go and work and build this up from zero. So we have to trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, having this spirituality and what's beyond what we see right here. And in addition to that, before that and after that, we work, we follow all the means, we do what we can do. That's the message that we learn, or one of the lessons that we learn from the story of Thul-Qarnain, this great king. Many people said he was Alexander the Great. There's no proof. Actually, if you read the details of the story of Alexander the Great, there are a lot of similarities, but there are some major differences that suggest he could not be that person. It's pointless anyway. Names, details do not really matter. What matters is the actions, what we see here, and how can we implement this in our lives. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. May Allah forgive us all. Please support your masjid, donate generously. Keep the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala running so we can offer these services. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and bless your property. Ud'u Allah, make dua to Allah. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله رب العالمين ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمد عبده ورسوله الأمين صلى الله وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. The first message for youth and for everybody: if there is a will, there is a way. These are the rules Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set in there and instructed and clarified in the Quran through stories and through clear guidance. Believe and do good deeds. Believe and do good deeds. Believe in the power that facilitate everything for you. And then go ahead and work. It's possible. That's in the Quran and that's in the reality around us. I give you a few examples of people who started from an office in a garage. Steve Jobs, if I'm not wrong, from a garage, and they built empires of success. Whether you agree or disagree, that's a different story, but it's possible. Facebook, student in Harvard who started this, and now who of us does not have Facebook? You will be an exception if you don't have one. You don't have to have one, but I mean, everybody on earth, almost, our life is there. It changed the world. So maybe some youth, young person, young brother or sister or out there who has a dream. The dream is based on something good, not just personal. Personal is okay, but live for others. Like Thul-Qarnain, help others, put the authority for others, put your skill. And maybe if you work right and you have the sincerity, you put the effort, Allah will take you to those levels of changing the world. Other message of establishing justice and being about justice and being for that which is right. This is really what makes successful nations. The message also of, following all the causes as much as you can, all the means. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you Islam, He will ask you about Islam. If Allah has put you somewhere, it's not a matter of really putting you under surveillance, but looking at your capabilities and whether you will utilize these or waste them. We don't want to waste what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has trusted us with. And every person by default, if you are listening to me now, if you can see me, if you can hear me, that means you are alive. You are by default gifted with so many things that you can change the world in a way or another. You figure it out, put your trust in Allah Azza wa Jalla, put the right intention, put the sincerity, and put the action. This is what we read from between the lines of this story. أقول قولي هذا وأسأل الله العظيم في هذه الساعة. I ask Allah Azza wa Jalla in this very moment to give us success. Oh Allah, give us success, Ya Rabb al-Alameen. Oh Allah, give us tawfiq and direction in intentions and in our actions. Oh Allah, give us the right way to go. Open the right way for us to go, Ya Rabb al-Alameen. Oh Allah, make us successful in any step that we take in our life, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. And when we slip, oh Allah, fix us and give us the power to fix ourselves and make the right decisions, Ya Rabb al-Alameen. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات المؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك يا مولانا سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات يا رب العالمين. Oh Allah, aid us. Oh Allah, forgive us. Oh Allah, give us rahmah ya Rabb al-Alameen. Oh Allah, extend our lives to live Ramadan. اللهم بلغنا رمضان يا رب العالمين. Oh Allah, make us live to the month of Ramadan being healthy, in full iman, and doing the right action, the best of actions, Ya Rabb al-Alameen. Oh Allah, keep us on Islam, keep us on the way of righteousness, Ya Rabb al-Alameen. Oh Allah, we have sins, forgive us our sins, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. اهدي أولادنا وبناتنا يا رب العالمين. Oh Allah, guide our kids and our children, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. Oh Allah, give them direction برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم آمين 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 يا رب العالمين. We make dua for Brother Kamal Sanif's sister. She passed away. Allahumma arhamha bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. May Allah give her full rahmah, puts her in the highest level of al-Jannah. Allahumma ameen ya Rabb al-Alameen. Brother Imam Benjamin passed away at Fajr. نسأل الله أن يرحمه برحمته الواسعة. He was reading Quran, subhanallah, 75 years old. May Allah gives him full rahmah ya Rabb al-Alameen. May Allah gives him full rahmah, puts him in the highest level of Jannah. Allahumma ameen ya Rabb al-Alameen. And those who are suffering, those who are sick, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala relieve them and give them full recovery, inshallah, very soon. Allahumma ameen. Wa aqim as-salam. No, that was a mistake. There was an announcement. I was given the wrong information and I made a wrong announcement about somebody who passed away. That was a mistake.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله 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 أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. أفلا ينظرون إلى الإبل كيف خلقت وإلى السماء كيف رفعت وإلى الجبال كيف نصبت وإلى الأرض كيف سطحت فذكر إنما أنت مذكر لست عليهم بمسيطر إلا من تولى وكفر فيعذبه الله العذاب الأكبر إن إلينا إيابهم ثم إن علينا حسابهم. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم. inshallah, a couple of quick announcements. First of all, the donations, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. We see, mashallah, the donations are increasing, which means we can cover our expenses, and it's coming. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. I wanted to thank you. I wanted to make dua for you. أسأل الله يبارك لكم في أرزاقكم وأولادكم وأهليكم. And keep supporting us, inshallah. Tonight, inshallah, every Friday night after Salat al-Isha, we will have, the programs, different programs. We had a couple of programs the past couple of Fridays about the Black History Month, about how to choose potential spouse, and one more last week was about how to navigate, tips to navigate safely through high school and college for both youth and parents. And tonight, inshallah, since soon we will be celebrating Isra al-Mi'raj, the journey, the night journey of the Prophet ﷺ Ascension. We'll be talking tonight, inshallah, for Salat al-Isha at 7:45. Here in the masjid, if you want to join us, I see a lot of faces, new faces, mashallah. Some brothers and some sisters I haven't seen in so long. Keep coming, inshallah, Azza wa Jalla. Things are promising. It's moving towards the positive, inshallah, Azza wa Jalla. Not the bad positive, the good positive. So keep coming, inshallah. Also tomorrow, there's a beautiful series of preparation of Ramadan, preparation, inshallah, every Saturday at noon. Every Saturday at noon, beginning tomorrow, inshallah. I will give a talk about the purpose of Ramadan, and then every Saturday there's a different topic and different speaker, even Imam Tahir and other imams will be joining, inshallah, and some sisters also we are inviting. Every Saturday at noon, inshallah, beginning tomorrow. So join us for tonight, inshallah, for that event, and every Friday night, and also tomorrow, beginning tomorrow, will be the Ramadan preparation. It will be on Facebook, Salam Facebook page, and on YouTube as well. Just put Salam Center on YouTube or Facebook, and it should take you there, inshallah. Like the page and follow us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. More is on the website as well.